you aren't up to date or you're just coming into this live stream, let me change the screen for you guys, or better yet, share the screen. Let me zoom in. I personally thought I zoomed in enough for you guys, but let's go to 200. Courtesy of The Athletic, Mesut Ozil and Arsenal and Mesut Ozil have reached an agreement in principle to terminate his contract, David Ornstein can reveal. The 32-year-old is expected to travel this weekend to complete a move to Fenerbahce after a deal was agreed with the Turkish club. Now, there was a lot of uncertainty, not that he was leaving, but we didn't know if he was going to go on loan and then they were going to, pay his wages and then pick him up. We don't know if he was agreeing a move in the summer. We didn't have any clarity. Clearly, this is a lengthy operation for Fenerbahce, for Arsenal, and everybody included. If I'm Mesut Ozil, I'm not even going to sit here and cap people. And let's be real, at 32 years of age, I'm entitled to every penny. I'm not busting out without that 7 million. So again, this tells me that Arsenal and Mesut, you could say on one hand, Ozil has foregone some of the money related to him, but they've come to an agreement. Maybe they've said, you know what, you can't have 7, but we'll give you 5 or 4. Ozil said, you know what, the money I'm going to make in Turkey based on, my marketing and all these things, I'm going to make it back. But I personally wouldn't be leaving that on the floor because, he's entitled to however much is left for his contract, people. Like I said, 7 million between now and the end of the season. There's also a loyalty bonus, and there's probably more figures around that deal than we know. Arsenal have tried to get him off. We tried this last year. For whatever reason, it didn't work. The man dug his heels in. He's lost the battle now and he's conceded. He needs to keep it moving. So we've taken the hit. We've paid up his contract. Hopefully we don't make these mistakes again. Getting into a situation where at the time your two best players in Mesut Ozil and Alexis Sanchez contracts are running out. Need to be a bit more proactive. Maybe with that, and obviously Mkhitaryan, and we could go below. We've mismanaged wages. Hopefully this can mark an end of mismanaging contract lengths and money you're paying a week. I'm not one to talk about money and things, but again, I care about my club, and if we haven't really got any cash to do anything, we struggle in that regard. So again, I'm happy to see an agreement's been reached. The first thing that came to me is clearly Arsenal have paid him up. Like Maz has said, bro, man's got the direct debit, it's getting paid. I can't lie, I'm not busting out without that money. I'll sit on my hand. I hear what people are saying about playing football, but Mesut Ozil's retired from international football and all of these things, so there's no reason for him really to push the move. If you're not giving me my cash, I'm not leaving. So there's been an agreement over there. So for him, and it's gone on to say the 32-year-old is expected to travel this weekend to complete a move to Fenerbahce after a deal was agreed with the club. So clearly he's agreed personal terms with Fenerbahce a long time ago, terms of the contract, duration of the contract, and the rest of it. But it came down to, are Arsenal and Fenerbahce gonna either, it probably started off as a loan business. You can take him on loan. You got to give us a loan fee and you've got to pay some of his wages. Fenerbahce have probably said, F that, he's a free transfer. Arsenal have probably said, F that, because we're already paying for a man that isn't playing. We're going to pay even more. So we've bit the bullet. He's allowed to probably agree a free transfer to Turkey, play some part of this season, I'm very cautious of these words, but be somewhat worshipped by fans and feel loved again and all of these sort of things. And for us, it is what it is. And for me, this is where I'm looking at the club now, because really it doesn't make sense because Mesut Ozil has played no part this season. But for me, I know there was a lot of, how fans are. Fans get a bit excited, and the minute Smith Rowe is playing well, they say we don't need to sign Aouar, we don't need an 8.5, we don't need a 10, we don't need this and that because Smith Rowe is playing well. Failing to understand, as you lot already know, because you're subscribed to me, so you understand football, people. It's a squad game. Smith Rowe's a quality player, but what happens when he's not at it? What happens when he's having a bad game? So for me, we've needed creativity anyways. This is obviously now that Mesut's gone and there's not that luxury of what Arteta didn't rule out is in terms of registering him in the squad. We need to sign a creative man. For me, I would like an 8.5, a number 8 who is creative. I feel we should move from the traditional 10. I get it. It makes sense. if we can find a wavy, traditional poetry in motion 10, then I'm down for it. But I feel that's kind of left it. I think the 10s you get now are these Kevin De Bruyne's and things like that. The closest off the top of my head I can find to a traditional someone I would describe as a 10. And he plays all about the place. Off the top of my head is Phil Foden, and you've got no chance on that. Rather than trying to beg Arteta to call Pep Guardiola and say give us him on loan, and that's a myth, people. So it is what it is. It's gone on to say Ozil was scheduled to earn Ozil was scheduled to earn around 7 million between now and the end of his contract in June. A deal has been reached in principle, however, for an early termination. So again, terminate the man's contract, give him whatever money is meant for him, and we keep it moving. Now, freeing up Ozil's funds, hopefully this can mean that we can bring in a creative man now, because we all know we're probably going to see more movement towards the last 2 weeks of January, because we've tried to move players on. We've found a home temporarily for Saliba. We hope Kolasinac can play his way into Schalke, buying him permanently or alerting other clubs. Again, Mustafi is going to stay now. Hopefully there's an offer for him, but Mustafi is going to stay based on what Arteta is saying. You know, the Socrateses, the David Luizes, you know, we need to clear up the wage bill. And by God's grace, come the summer, I don't think we're going to get out all of the players, but we need to make decisions on such people. So it is what it is, you know. Farewell to Mesut Ozil. Apologies, people. I've actually missed out somebody. I'm going to make a next point in a sec. But, you know, whatever it is, you know, at the end of the day, the man's been here for 7.5 years. He's won 3 FA Cups. I don't think he's been as bad as man make out. I'm not sad to see him go, but I do think he was a good player. You know, he's played well against a couple of times against the Chelseas, the Uniteds, the Cities, the Liverpools. You know, I never, you know, I did there was when we beat Chelsea in the FA Cup. People forget this man was sprinting back to tackle Hazard. I do think he didn't turn it up enough, but I do think at times when he was, people didn't give him credit. Like you said, like we all know, with Mesut Ozil, he's either the best thing since sliced bread or he's the worst footballer you've ever set eyes on. You know, he can love you. You know, you can love him or hate him. He's a bit like Marmite. There's very few balance, and judging by some of you lot's comments, you're kind of saying that. Obviously, there were. I don't want to make this a political thing, but there was obviously the China things and whatnot. Maybe Ozil's died a martyr of that, because again, you know, Arsenal, the minute you get onto China, Ozil is making you lot lose funds. So maybe that's a reason. So again, the main thing for me is we found compensation for him with his contract. That it is what it is. We keep it moving. And for me, it continues, you know, I think an article said we stand to save around 600k a week if the Mesut Ozils and these names keep it moving. So Ozil's the first domino to fall. Hopefully, you know, again, David Luiz for this season or to the end of this season, do your thing for us. But the David Luiz's, the Mustafis, the Socrateses, come, you know, September, August next year, these lot shouldn't be part of it, people. Obviously, we probably stand to lose Balogun as well as Kiddo Taylor-Hart as well in the academy. And again, we need to right our wrongs as a club now. We're playing catch-up. For me, what annoys me about Arsenal Football Club is if we claim to be self-financing and we need to watch our pennies, we need to make sure that you know, when we buy players, they actually bang. You know, again, I like Lacazette. He's been a good player, but is it the Lacazette we thought we was getting? You know, which we could do something like Aubameyang. Maybe if Lacazette is scoring, but maybe if Lacazette was the striker to the caliber of Aubameyang in terms of goal scoring, we don't bring in Aubameyang, or there's less pressure on one man scoring goals. So you've had him. Pepe is Pepe. I'm not going to get into it, but Pepe, you know, the Xhakas, the Mustafis, you know, it's these sort of things there. The big money signings, sometimes the free transfers. Apologies. Yeah, man. If he won 4, did he win 4? I can definitely think of 3 off the top of my head. What, 2014, 2015, the Chelsea one. I'm sure he wasn't involved in the last one we just won, but fair play if he actually has 4. I might be missing one out. But like I was saying, for me, it's also, again, yeah, apologies. Yeah, so he did. I swear, does he technically get one? Did he play in the FA Cup at any point? So yeah, he's got 4 FA Cups. So apologies for that, people. I didn't think he got one because he was kind of alienated towards the end. But if he was technically ran a medal, then fair play. But either way, for me, it's big money signings that we've mismanaged. It's free transfers, the Mkhitaryan's, the Kolasinacs, who have proved very costly for this club. It's the contracts, it's the selling of players. You know, again, if we're meant to be self-financing young players, we never got no real P's for Gnabry. We never got nothing for Josh De Silva. We never got nothing for Yunus Musa. Musa's one's a bit different because he wanted to leave the club. The club did everything and he kept it moving in line with these young players. So it is what it is in that regards, people. So I hope, you know, we can now again try and right these wrongs. We can learn our lessons with giving lengthy contracts, with overpaying, with allowing ourselves to be held to ransom and things like that, because we are playing catch up. Because again, only time will tell if we get all of these, you know, if we're able to really get want away players gone. Hopefully these guys are gone, you know, David Luiz and Mustafi. Arteta hasn't ruled it out, a contract extension for him. Mustafi, again, he keeps talking about Mustafi, and there was a contract extension on the table for Mustafi. So hopefully that's not the case. For me, contracts in 2022 are now on the agenda.